David Kari Weber, better known as Dave Chappelle, is an American comedian, television personality, film producer, and actor. Although his on-screen appearances has significantly reduced since the last decade, his quirky remarks and comic timing remain fresh even today. Welcome. Today in our next episode of the Comedian series, we'll be talking about Dave Chappelle, arguably one of the best stand-up comedians ever. Why did he leave the scene for almost 10 years? Is he indeed Muslim? What films has he been part of? And how did Playboy mastermind Hugh Hefner inspire Dave? Make sure to watch till the end to find out. This is The Genesis. Dave Chappelle first became famous with The Chappelle Show, which ended abruptly due to his early retirement. One of the boldest, raunchiest, and most versatile actor-comedians, he is known for his oddball sense of humor and crude guilelessness, and is rightly considered one of the greatest stand-up comedians of his generation. Chappelle has also starred in some movies in minor yet unforgettable roles: Robin Hood Men in Tights, The Nutty Professor, and Blue Streak. After years of struggling with minor roles in films, he hit it big with his own primetime show, featuring skits, celebrity mimicry, and short films. Despite signing a contract for 2 more seasons of the show, the production was terminated for an unknown reason, and he got back to doing stand-up comedy. So how did it all start for Dave? David Kari Weber was born on August 24, 1973, in Washington, D.C. Chappelle's parents were professors. Chappelle's parents separated when Dave was merely 6 years old, and he subsequently began splitting time between his parents' homes in Washington and Ohio. Inspired by the sitcom The Cosby Show and its star, now infamous comedian Bill Cosby, Chappelle decided he also wanted to be a comedian. As a high school student, the Duke Ellington School of the Arts in Washington, D.C., Chappelle began a stand-up career. Since he was underage, his mother often had to accompany him to clubs as his legal guardian. Even at an early age, Chappelle's humor was controversial, leading to frequent heckling. One time, he was even booed off stage during amateur night at New York's infamous Apollo Theater. Dave Chappelle decided to drop out of college to start a stand-up career in New York City. By the early 1990s, he got his first recognition for his work in comedy. He made a film debut in Mel Brooks's Robin Hood Men in Tights in 1993 and became the youngest comedian to perform on the HBO Extraordinary Comic Relief 6 in 1994. Chappelle made his way into television, scoring the first of many TV deals he would eventually be offered at age 18. Only one made it to the air of the pilots he shot, Buddies, a Disney-produced ABC series focused on 2 friends living in New York City. Unluckily, the series was canceled just after 4 episodes, but his success continued to grow. Slowly, major roles came to Chappelle. He starred in The Nutty Professor in 1996, together with Eddie Murphy, and appeared in 3 movies in 1998: Woo, You've Got Mail, and Half-Baked. Sadly, Chappelle's father unfortunately died the same year, forcing the comedian to reevaluate his life. Later, Chappelle filmed the prevalent famous comedy special Killin' Them Softly in 2000, followed by the movie Undercover Brother in 2002, which starred comedian Eddie Griffin. While his popularity grew, he had yet to meet a role that captured him to superstardom. One night, Chappelle watched a special on Playboy publisher Hugh Hefner, resembling one of Hefner's Playboy parties. The party host interviewed musicians and comedians who would then perform for Hef, the Playboy Bunnies, and other guests. Later, Chappelle told James Lipton that he was weirdly inspired by it and called his Half-Baked co-writer Neil Brennan to talk about it. "We started talking about variety shows. We wanted to do something really personal," Chappelle recalled their conversation, which led to the creation of The Chappelle Show. The stand-up fame helped Dave strike a deal with the cable channel Comedy Central to produce Chappelle's show. The show featured Chappelle introducing sketches in front of a live audience and usually ended with a music clip performed by a rap or rhythm and blues artist. It always featured biting political and cultural satire, leavened by a playful sense of the absurd. Chappelle's show produced several sketches that became word-of-mouth and viral internet hits, notably an episode consisting of anecdotes and outlandish musician Rick James. Chappelle reenacted the events as James. At the same time, James provided occasional commentary. Remarkably, the star's colleague of Dave, Eddie Murphy, thought that the sketch was genius. Charlie Murphy showed his brother the sketch, which, by the way, we have done episodes on both the Murphy brothers. Be sure to check them out if you like. Eddie watched the whole thing in silence. Once it ended, he said it was genius before laughing and insisting Charlie play it again. The show's first season was released on DVD in 2004 and quickly became the best-selling television program in the format's history. That year, Chappelle also released a second stand-up special, Dave Chappelle, For What It's Worth. However, the success of Chappelle's show was a mixed blessing for its star. Although the show's popularity made Chappelle the most famous he had ever been, Dave felt overwhelmed by the amount of his time and energy that needed to be dedicated to the show. Dave was also troubled by the production's behind-the-scenes racial dynamics. In April 2005, nearly 1 year after signing a $50 million contract with Comedy Central, he abruptly left the show when filming the third season of Chappelle's Show. 3 episodes worth of material were cobbled together with Chappelle in his hosting role, bringing the grand total of the Chappelle Show's episodes to just 28, a concise number for a program of such influence. After leaving the show, Chappelle mostly kept out of the public eye for nearly a decade. He appeared sporadically to perform stand-up in clubs across the United States and in the documentary Dave Chappelle's Block Party in 2005, which chronicled a free music and comedy concert Chappelle organized in Brooklyn. In February of 2013, surprising the world, Dave Chappelle appeared at the famed New York City comedy club, the Comedy Cellar. He was later joined on stage by comedian Chris Rock, where the two discussed the possibility of a tour, exciting many fans. Following the unexpected appearance, Chappelle formally announced his return to stand-up, performing several scheduled stand-up shows throughout the South, including Atlanta, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Tennessee. Chappelle also starred in the Funny or Die tour beginning in Austin, Texas, on August 23, 2013. During his set, he referred to his exit from Comedy Central, telling the audience that it's easier to resign as the Pope than it is to quit a cable show. Chappelle married Elaine Mendoza Erfy in 2001. The couple had 2 sons, Solomon and Ibrahim, and 1 daughter, Sana. Today, they happily live on a 65-acre farm near Yellow Springs, Ohio. Chappelle came to Islam in 1991. He told Time in May of 2005, "I don't normally talk about my religion publicly because I don't want people to associate me and my flaws with this beautiful thing. And I believe it's beautiful if you learn it the right way." Chappelle also appeared in a video explaining the religious history of the well of Zamzam in Mecca. Dave credits his own parents for giving him all the resources to succeed, including lots of reading materials and sense of community. "They taught me that you can do incredible things if you trust the world. I've seen a lot of things that could think the world's a terrible place, but I wasn't raised that way." Today, Dave is pretty much active on social media. He has accounts on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Dave has earned more than 773,000 followers on his Twitter account. Dave has gained more than 1.2 million followers on his Instagram and 27,000 followers on his Facebook account. Dave Chappelle's legacy includes 3 consecutive Grammy Awards for Best Comedy Album, Kennedy Center's Mark Twain Award for American Humor, and Primetime Emmy Award for Outstanding Variety Special, pre-recorded nomination. Dave ranks 43rd in the Comedy Central Presents 100 Greatest Stand-Ups of All Times list. He is also listed in Forbes Celebrity 100 list with $12 million. Also, February 3rd in Colombia is declared as the Dave Chappelle Day. Despite being gone for years, Chappelle clearly hasn't lost his quick wits and incredible ability to cause a crowd to laugh at what some consider taboo topics. It would be easy to say it's Chappelle at his best today, but he continues to outdo himself. Only time will tell how else the comedian will entertain and educate us, his fans. So what do you think about the star of our video, Dave Chappelle? Share your opinion in the comments section. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss an upload. And you can enjoy all the excellent content we send your way. Until next time, this is The Genesis.